Hi. Today, happy Diwali. Diwali is today. So, November 1st. It's 11/1/2024. That's Diwali 2024. So, Diwali. Um, I'm going to read off um, this. Okay. So, basically, I've been having, many of us have like head to toe pain, basically, achiness and circulatory kind of stiffness. So that actually does have to do with blood viscosity, which is how thick your blood is. So that's what I'm going to be reading this list. So published research on earthing indicates that a broad array of favorable health-related results, including better sleep, eliminating or substantially reducing inflammation, eliminating or substantially reducing pain, improving blood flow, normalizing effects, normalizing the effect on the stress hormone cortisol. So there's different effects on cortisol depending on the type of shoes you wear, because that has to do with how your limbic system, how much guesswork your limbic system is doing. Some If you take a thick shoe, like anything that has like a plastic heel, or like a artificial heel that's not, that's like not, that doesn't conduct electricity from your foot, that's going to have like your limbic system doing a little more guesswork as compared to an alternative that's totally natural. I'm not saying like all there are, like, for example, people who play basketball, they're not running around in, I mean, people used to play ball games playing, wearing deerskin footwear, or I mean primarily deerskin, but all sorts of different animals. So nowadays leather is very common. There's an abundance of leather um, as a result of the cattle industry, like for food and dairy. So a lot of vegans are actually aware that since there's such an excess of leather, it's actually the leather's not going to waste when it's being worn. It's kind of like it's kind of like being on the inside, if that makes sense. Like you want like being on the inside of skin, or like skin to skin contact, whatever. But that's that skin to skin contact. That's how the electricity is actually grounded from head to toe, from your hair. Like static electricity in your hair getting grounded through the be it deer skin or leather skin or lamb skin, like sheepskin, however. Okay, let me finish this. So that has to do with the stress hormone cortisol. Calming effects on the nervous system, reduces blood viscosity, improves glucose. So blood viscosity would have to do with blood hardening. Blood hardening. Um, so it's like there are certain it's called atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is a buildup of hardening plaque in the veins. So when you get an increased amount of plaque in the veins, potentially due to um, like the vibration of walking not being supported by shoe wear, actually like conducting that um, the gravity of like walking, that can potentially actually affect the venous like arteries, the vein system. Okay. So there's reduces blood viscosity, improves glucose, which is blood sugar regulation. So that's pretty cool because and so that has to do with diabetic foot pain. People who have diabetic foot pain, they have like a burning kind of sensation in their feet, or like a feeling of like the feet, or the bottom of the feet, the sole are very, very deeply, I mean, like I said, it's like shock. Like a car has shocks. Like that's how it like springs. So you would think like the shocks are in your neck. I mean, the shocks go from your soul to your neck. So that's how your brain is able to be comfortable. How your eyes. as well, the tongue. All of that has to do with shock being conducted when there is like all during locomotion, during ambulation. Prevents calcium and bone density loss, reduces indicators of osteoporosis, increases metabolic rate, influences thyroid gland function, reduces muscle damage, accelerates recovery from strenuous exercise, speeds wound healing, improves immune system response to trauma and injuries. So, trauma and injury, what people call battery, is quite literally storage of various stiffnesses and compensations that it's like I said, when there's like instead of a conduction happening through the bottom of the feet, if there's not a conduction, what happens is it's contained. So that is how trauma is basically can become locked in a certain way when it's not actually being when things aren't being like when the shock is not being traveling through the entire thing. So even like wearing something like grounding shoes, like for 30 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day, going for a 40-minute walk wearing shoes like that, that could actually help to just kind of like help get things a little looser and jigglier and get the kind of like gravity, basically like a massage, get the pressure where it needs to be on the knees, on the shoulders, on the ribs, all that, on the neck. Um, Normalizes muscle tension, reduces frequent nighttime urination, reduces PMS symptoms and hot flashes. That's pretty cool. I would hope that someone like Kanye West, who preaches about church in the wild, would actually care to help people heal from trauma. People who, I mean, individuals who he has sung about, and considering that he owns his own foot like footwear brand, and he's an independent designer as well. There are many other independent designers. I would love it if there was a shoe that's not. I mean, maybe not everyone is gonna wear all the time, but there, like that are like church in the wild healing where just simply walking, even if someone is hobbling, if someone is so stiff that they're hobbling, that absolutely has to do with blood circulation. It has to do with the nervous system, and like I said, shock and momentum not actually being conducted down onto whatever surface someone is on. So, being as there aren't really like, there are some cool options online, but it's also possible to make these shoes without any stitching. So that was the challenge that I made for myself, was to basically make this type of shoe with no stitching and holding it. I mean, I did cut holes into, there are two holes involved in this, and then there's a like one, and then this, right? So this is one just like long piece, and then it'll be three pieces of like other pieces of leather, and that has no stitching in it. And I believe that also has to do stitching in shoes. I think that also has to do with putting resistance against like it that tautness can be, it's not, it's like when your heel is trying to step down and then actually like the soft skin of your heel is trying to disperse weight, disperse what's that called, like when you fall you're supposed to like spread out to catch everything, to catch all the momentum. When that's not happening on the heel, then and there's like that, the stitching can actually be kind of causing like a lack of basically it's a lack of feedback. It's like a lack of feedback. You want like feedback as you're walking. Each step is like feedback from the earth. That makes sense. Or wherever it's like something that It's like a basketball bouncing kind of. So and I wonder if athletic shoes were made with barefoot material, as in skin to skin, if that would actually reduce some athletic injury for a lot of people who are not even necessarily professional athletes, people who only ever do athletics maybe when they're teenagers, which is it's good, it's very important, and it's extremely important that that exercise can be as as strengthening as possible. Strengthening not only for like external muscle and not in a hardening way, not in a stiffening way, but in a way that is for longevity. Like a lot of people who play sports or do they can actually like I don't know that injury like it depends on the way that like injury is acquired. So falling onto a like when someone is like let's say and this occurs to someone who's this can occur to someone who's like elderly and not like playing basketball right in their when they're in their 20s, but an elderly person who is not very well balanced because they're not actually holding their weight like how do I say the weight up top is kind of more it's like being standing on an altar. People say get off your high horse. Like it's like basically not being on the ground. So when people are having like oh they're stepping like kind of like pigeon stepping, pigeon toe stepping. That is like that's like an awareness that they could potentially fall, and then the body is not going to stop the fall if it's going to be damaging for if it's going to be too harsh on the circulatory system. So I've experienced that in the past wearing normalized shoes that are injurious because for me personally I would like kind of like one knee would get weaker and then kind of bend, and then I knew that a fall was about to happen. I knew a fall was about to happen, but I knew that my like the bottom of the shoe was not able to disperse, but rather it would like go this way or that way. It would like roll my ankle. So the shoes actually would have done further damage to my ankle or my knee or my hip or even like, you know, up the entire thing. Um, because as I sensed like one side was like then this other side understands that I can't actually go there, which is it's like this like it's very jarring, it's emotionally jarring, mentally jarring, and it's imperceptible because no one talks about this. This is basically information that is not talked about by doctors for a reason. I mean, normalized shoes cause health problems that are profitable for doctors, literally. And so you would think that doctors would be prioritizing something like footwear as to how important it is, like first line, first contact. I mean, every step is a potential injury as a result of normalized footwear. And then I've even seen orthopedic shoes. Can you believe this? I look at orthopedic shoes and it's the same design of a thick chunky foam, and it's like it doesn't matter how wide you make it. They try to make these shoes wider so that it's like oh but it still remains that the ankle is aware that the bottom of the foot is not really is not doing the full dispersion for each step. So the ankle is like doing something to compensate or just like not really, it's kind of like seizing up. I don't know. So I'm like looking at these orthopedic shoes and I'm like, I don't know. It's like the same construction where it's like where there's like this like stiff, you know, thread that is not going to have a great feedback with my circulatory system. I would love to see orthopedic shoes that are 100% made of conductive material, because conductive material is how um, momentum and electrical impulse is dispersed. So if someone is like doing something with their feet, there's literally electrical signals being sent to the foot, like from the brain. And when it can't go anywhere, that's a problem. That's the problem when it can't, when it's not actually on, when it's not communicating with the surface, when it's not getting an idea, that feedback of what the surface actually is, be it sidewalk, like street, road, grass, rock. It's not getting the feedback that important information, that very basic information of like, oh, it's all good, or okay, step to the side, yada yada, how to actually apply the pressure. Because then it's just like, it's literally people are walking around standing on these plastic altars or these foam altars. That's how I see it. Like when I look at other people, the way they stand like not on the actual earth. It's like they're being kept away from the earth because that's literally what's happening. There's no feedback, there's no natural feedback. So it's like they are, and just from the time that we learn to walk, which is deeply upsetting, deeply upsetting. And I think this also is related to autistic development, is very related to autistic development. Um, I'm not saying like everyone has that need to, every body has the same need to get feedback, get like earth, like gravitational feedback. But I think particularly something like autism is actually a, I don't know, it's like it's interesting to see how certain, I don't know, maybe certain symptoms can be alleviated. I'm looking at my like I have like a little statue in the kitchen that leans all the way to one side. It's very cute. Anyway, I'm gonna show you these shoes that I made that I'm already wearing one of them, and it uses four pieces of fabric. Um, and yeah, and with two holes and then one of these. So, and it's wrapped, and then it's there's no, actually there is a knot tied, so I'll show you. Okay. Slipper. I texted my family and showing them, and they were like, "Wow, that looks pretty cool for basic, for something like that's very 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 basic." So I'll just show you how it looks. That's like this. So these side flaps can be tucked in, but it looks very cute like that. I think it's cute. The toes are covered, like they're not like there's still like that air circulation. These are slippers, but the toes are like, covered, protected. They're not touching the ground and no one can see them. And then it has the cute tie there, and then the back looks like kind of like Uggs, but there's no, unlike an Ugg, there's no separation from the ground. You see, like all the feedback is available to my body. So I'll show you how to do it for your feet. So step one is you're gonna get like a square piece of fabric. It's basically like origami. You're gonna get a square piece of fabric. Where is it? This one I've already worn. So you wanna fold like this to get it in there. And then you want the same leather side to be on the, like, as it's exiting, so that it's like the same look. See? As opposed, and then the suede still together on the inside. And then do the same there. And then keep it loose at first. We're going to tighten it once the inner part is constructed. Okay. Actually, I'm going to fold it up like that. Okay, get that in there. It's a fun project to construct it. So for that, you just need to cut like a um two slats into there. Not slats, but slots. getting this one in. I can probably make it bigger, but it'll fit. So now that's like that. We can leave it open. We're gonna take a longer piece of fabric. Four of those. So there are like you can like size it. There are these that are longer, and then there's like I'm gonna use a shorter one. So first I get the ankle. These are the same, and these are the same. So I'm pretty sure it's. I'm gonna go back here. Okay, and then I have like a shorter one like this. The one on the front is actually going to go more on the bottom. So you can line it up to line your back ankle. So you want to do it along these are different than this. So this is technically not like the thumb is technically not considered a finger, one of the four fingers. And it's the same in the foot. So that's kind of the natural. So you want to line up the front point and the back point along that big toe. And yeah, flip it over like that. So it's covering the toe. But before we do that, actually, I'm gonna go back first. So, yeah, I folded it like this first. So I lined it up so the back part of it is lined up with that point. You can line it up with that point or wherever, like, what I did is I rolled my ankle back until there was like, if you feel that it's there, then pull it back a little. Keep trying, okay, it's not there. So, some water. I'm like bending down. I'm gonna go in first. No. Other way out. Out and then in. And this goes over. It gets wrapped like that. So it gets covered. Pardon me. Some seasonal changes happening. Rolling the ankle, the heel. So okay. So right, outside. Even it. Okay, outside, and then towards the inside. And then it's gonna go that way. So it covers the big toe. For the big toe. Okay, got that. So isn't that cute? It's just like very basic. And then these are gonna get ended up folded down after I do the fortune cookie. So now is the fortune cookie part where what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten it up. There's only three pieces of fabric and it's all held together very well. Well, actually it's four pieces of fabric with this. Yeah, the strap. So sorry. Yeah, like the window's like right open right there. Like your window. Camera up a little bit. That's even. Keep it even like that. Tie your shoes after the shoe has been assembled. Okay, so now this is an important part. Okay, this is gonna get tucked in after. It's gonna go get like. I don't want to mess up the top. So it's important that this goes according to how the foot slopes up this way. So when you're going underneath, this one is going to go lower to where, like right under that like pinky bump that you can feel. Like some people get what are those called? Like the protrusion of like where the pinky is. You want to go like right under there. And then on the other side is going to be according to the big toe. So the big toe is higher up, so that one is going to go higher up actually. Yeah, it goes like above it. Yeah, so it's gonna line up with like right under the like big toe. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, okay, get that nice and taut. Then these are going to be back where like above the thing. So now I'm gonna open the fortune cookie. Open it like that. Cute, right? Open it like that so it's like flat. And then I'm going to tie this over those like edges or those corners. So as I'm doing this, there's a special kind of fold that is you actually fold it before you before it goes under. But, so it's like this under piece, like instead of like folding it back, you can go like that, twist it, and then bring it. So it's gonna go under. Okay, so now you have that, and then we're gonna finish it up. So gonna go back that way. We're gonna do this again, that twist, and then go like um that. Is it like that? Oh gosh, I don't think it matters too much. This might get some people quote unquote bent out of shape, but oh here now I know. Okay, so you just bring that, and then when you're doing the top, you're gonna. Hey, that's fine. That's why we did the twist earlier. Yeah, so when you just do it like that, and tie it. Nice and neat. So then these fold down like that, and then this pointy part in the front gets tucked under. Gets tucked under the front. So it makes these two corners here. And then you can bring it lower too. You can fold it all the way down. If that is preferred. And it's cute. It's like taking the space that is required. Not required, I mean, I'm sure there's a sleeker way, but even though it's a lot of space, or like it's kind of, you know, it's still, it's like, it's nice. Feels good to have them on. And I'll show you how they look um, when I'm like walking. It basically teaches you to own, like putting them on, you might feel like, oh, that you're weak, and that is actually likely true as a result of wearing mainstream shoes. There might be some weaknesses that you feel or notice um, that can improve as a result of wearing them and working in them, going for a walk, uh, doing some jumping jacks, maybe do some jumping jacks while wearing them. That can help. I think even that would help, doing some jumping jacks, going for a jog, going for a walk, and yeah, if they're like, there's so many original designs that could be. I mean, in our whole human history, there are so many original designs. And I mean, it's very highly likely that this design has happened before. Perhaps it's like original, but this is the what eventually I reached as like a cute option. And yeah. You actually can walk on them like outside. Like you can walk on them outside. I stepped on a broken glass bottle at a concert. Like I was at a concert where there was a pit, like people were, like charging at each other. There was like a broken glass bottle on the floor, and I stepped on it with this fabric. This fabric. And I could feel, I was like, oh, I know what this material is. It's glass. And none of it punctured. It didn't puncture. I didn't get cut. None of it went, like, at that point, I just like stepped off of it. And I didn't have any issues. I was getting stepped on. And because my toes were covered, there was no pain. It was interesting. Hey guys. Hey guys, I love the one body we all share. Um I would love to see other people not hobbling. I would love to see other people not dragging one ankle or and not dragging like one knee or even dragging like a hip. I think these things can be alleviated. Even the arms. I think this is particularly having to do with the arms, how the arms kind of balance themselves. A lot of people just try and hold the neck as still as possible as a result of these mainstream shoes. And um, I don't know. It's it's a tough. It's like it's best to provide the body with the most accurate information as to what natural conditions are like. And so those natural conditions include like one's own body weight and fat composition. when someone has a different fat composition than another person, that is detectable wearing natural shoes. So people jiggle while they walk, but you might be jiggling either more or less wearing these or, something like that. But like shoes, there's not like the thing is like one size fits all shoes that do not when I say that, I mean like even something like orthopedic shoes are essentially there's an idea of one size fits all kind of like regardless of what the injury exactly is, but the initial insult is to one's own knowledge base as to what how the ground actually feels and how one's own body feels, because like I said, there's feedback that happens throughout the entire body, like electricity from the hair going down and getting conducted through a fabric like this. So that's like it's like insulting to the knowledge body when that feedback is not happening like all the way to the top.